These things are business founders' worst nightmares.
But what do you do when your client says they don't have money? Welcome back to Recap. Today we're gonna get really down and dirty. We're gonna be spilling the tea. Gonna be talking about lots of things that happened to us and it was just not fun to deal with as business owners, as a startup, as founders. So
These things are business founders' worst nightmares. I'd say specifically in the digital marketing space. If you own a marketing agency and this happens to you, it's your worst nightmare.
You'll get it.
Last week we talked about high maintenance things that we do to keep our clients low maintenance throughout the month. And today we're going to expose some of the absolute worst things that have happened to us.
Yeah.
We're going to start with maybe one of the most feared things about working in the creative space, and that is somebody stealing your work after ghosting you.
It's such a hard thing to deal with because as, freelancers, agencies, anyone that's in the industry is going to get this. You can't really do much to protect this, right? Because you're trying to get a new client, propose an idea. They want to see it all. You're confident that once they see your work, they're going to be, wow, this is it. I value them and I'm going to hire them. But then instead, they ghost you. Yeah. And fast forward a couple months later, you see your work.
Let's back it up for a minute. We had the biggest opportunity to work with a huge firm that is known worldwide on a project in Miami. And it was the most perfect opportunity for us. It was a branding and marketing strategy client. Mm-hmm. We proposed how we would brand them and all of our go-to-market strategies for launch, post-launch, social media, content production, the whole nine. And since it was such a largely known firm, we were like, there is a little bit of trust we need to earn with them. So they need to see our capabilities as designers and what our team can do in the terms of like delivering all the things that we had planned out for them.
But also as an agency, you trust that because this client is so big and, you're doing all of this, they're going to be respectful maybe of your work and what you're delivering and putting in front of them just to get them to hire you.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to get there.
We're reliving the trauma. We worked 2 weeks on this proposal.
2 weeks? Oh,
nobody gave us, a deposit. Nobody gave us a cent. Okay. We actually were contacted by one of the partners who we know from another company. And he was like, you have this opportunity to pitch the whole team at once. Mm-hmm. Get something together for 2 weeks from now. Present it to me. I'm going to give you my inside feedback before you get to show it to all of the board members and before they say yes. We're like, oh my God, we got to take this opportunity and turn it around.
He's backing us too, right? Like in our head, we're like, we have someone that already wants us. And so what could go wrong?
Yeah. We met with our team. We were like, hey guys, we have a huge opportunity. We have a big turnaround that we need to make on this pitch deck. Let's get to it. We literally paused so many important projects to focus on this. Got the team to give everything, in their capabilities to put this at the top of the list. Got a amazing pitch deck together. We practiced our pitch together and then we presented it with nothing signed and no deposit.
Boom. So right after presenting, pitching, we waited it normally takes 3 to 6 days to hear back from the client. You got to give them some time to, go back and forth and discuss.
But we actually expected to hear from him sooner because he was
Right.
like, I'm going to give you my personal feedback so that you can tweak this presentation for like the full pitch that you give to the whole board, whatever. He's like, send me the link though so that I can like take a look at this on my own time, and I'm going to, really have a chance to digest and give you perfect feedback for the main pitch. We're like,
and now we know
we had a gut
that's
feeling.
when you know.
We had a gut feeling. We definitely ignored it because of a
Yeah.
personal relationship that we had with this person. So if you have a gut feeling, always trust
Follow
it.
it.
Protect your work.
Yeah.
We didn't hear back, and we followed up, and we were like, so what's the news? When's the final pitch happening? What's your feedback? He's like, you know what? It was great. I'm very busy. I'll let you know. Radio silence.
Week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2 months, 3 months. And our team was even like, hey guys, that amazing
Right.
proposal that we all put together and like worked so many hours
We
on, like,
worked so
how did
hard
it
on
go? Like, what's the feedback? And we were like, crickets.
It also sucks as founders to talk to your team and have to sit them down and be like, so guys, this amazing proposal we all worked on for so many hours, like, it's not happening. Like,
We got f***ed.
yeah, we never heard back.
Okay, let's fast forward a year to this weekend.
Yeah, literally this weekend, just...
Yeah, I was out of town, dilly-dallying with my college girlfriends, and I get a text from Maria being like, Izzy, stop whatever you're doing right now. I just walked past something in Miami, and I'm pretty sure it's our whole pitch deck.
I got out of the car, I parked, I was like, I recognize this. I take a picture, I send it to her, and I'm like, ah!
It's done. Like, the construction's done. Our branding, our
It's
design
there.
is like literally engraved into some walls.
Like,
I'm still processing what's going on. This was
I
like
don't
literally
think we said
2 days
anything to each
ago.
other for a good 5 minutes. We were just like,
What do we do?
how do you, like, what's next? Like, how do you approach this?
Since we had nothing in writing, it's just
This is where you realize that the reality of things is that if you don't have things in writing, there's not much that you can do about it.
and unfortunately, even if you do have things in writing,
it's also hard to go
still-
after. But as freelancers, marketing world, this will happen to you. Hopefully not, but it's very likely to. And you need to know how to approach every client and read every situation to know, am I exposing too much of my work at this point? Is this crossing a line?
That's the thing though, because sometimes you'll never be able to tell by the client. We
Right.
never thought that this would happen because of our personal relationship with them and the promises that they were making. So like, all things aside, the most you can do to protect your work and prevent something like this from happening to you is just don't give away too much.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting paid for a pitch so that if, they do use it and they move forward without you on the long term, at least you got paid for the work that you did and the hours you put into it. Otherwise, there's literally nothing you can do. And as an agency, don't give samples until they're your client. You got to have them trust you, and that's it.
Yeah, so that was awful. That was a really bad moment. But we live and we learn. So really important to just put it out there. Make sure you don't cross that boundary. And then let's move into the next one. We have 3 guys. Yes, it gets worse.
The next one is not something that I'm necessarily proud of to put out there that we did, but you got to do what you got to do. And I'm going to throw a number out there and to give you the severity of the situation of how much money we were owed for something from a client that we've been working with.
Like 10K?
Yeah, for 6 months. So we're coming up on 6 months with this client. Everything's great. I think it's really important to discuss the amount that we were owed, because it wasn't just for our retainer, monthly service of social media management and marketing, whatever. This was a client that we've been working with for 6 months on a retainer basis. Everything was going great. They were a fairly new business. All things aside, we always got paid on time. Nothing was ever discussed. Until one month, I took a look at our finances and I realized that somehow we never got our payment from the prior month. That
jump scare.
That was a jump scare because, I do manual invoicing still, and it is hard to keep track of so many things coming in and out, and one thing did get overlooked, and it was that we didn't get paid for one of the months. And I was like, you know what? Let me check in with them. Honest mistake, no worries. But we're already 3 weeks into the next month, so now they're owing us for 2 months. The total that they owed us was around $10K. This was for our retainer, for ads, for content production, a whole list of things.
Yeah, range of services.
It snowballed very fast, all of the invoices that were missing from this client, and once again was a live and learn situation, and we've positioned ourselves to never be in this situation again with the client, so I'd like to put that out there. But how we handled it was
it was bizarre. Like she said, they were already a retainer client, so there was no reason why we would think this would even happen. Like, everything was great. Our work, we were delivering our work. They were happy with everything we were doing.
They also never said anything to us.
Our relationship was intact. Everything was fine.
Until we followed up.
Right.
And we were like, hey guys, we realized that, we're missing a couple dollars here and there.
Very demure.
Very demure, very cutesy. And they were like, yeah, we're out of money. I'd like to backtrack and say that they don't speak English. So Maria had to handle a lot of this, and that was really hard for me.
But what do you do when your client says they don't have money?
We literally looked at each other and we were like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Right.
However, you owe us
right
X amount. We're happy to set up a payment plan.
Right. We were tiptoeing a lot around how to be very strict and say, we delivered all of these services. It's not like, okay, you don't have money, so we can't move forward. Like, everything else has been paid for. It wasn't that situation. It was like, you owe us because we have delivered all of these things.
The shoot happened.
Right.
The month of, management fees happened.
Services, everything.
Ads went out. Money was spent on the ads. We were out of pocket.
This is definitely one of those sticky situations where you have to handle the client based on what you know about them, if you can trust them or if you can't. It's all depending on who they are. And honestly, it was so hard for us to really come to an agreement with them on how to get paid, because when someone doesn't have money, they literally look at you and are like,
you're our last problem. As a marketing agency, you're our last priority to get paid because we have a business that's functioning and our employees need paid. Everything comes before us in this sense, and that's why it was so stressful, because we had a gut feeling we're never going to see this money. And if we do, it's a fucking miracle. So we got thinking really quickly, and we were like, what do we have to leverage ourselves? And this is where we were like, oh my God, wait, we have literally all of the credentials to everything, which they don't have access to anymore because we transferred it under the agency.
We were the whole marketing team. So some of the assets that we had were from a content production we had just done, and we decided, okay, we're not going to deliver any of the content until we see the money.
Yeah, we also split it up though. You will get this from us when you pay us this amount. So to give this, to kind of give a better example of that, we had Google My Business, Instagram, Yelp, content from all of our productions that we needed to turn over, email marketing, website, all that they didn't have access to. So we literally structured a hostage exchange. Instead of a payment plan, we were when we get this amount, you'll get this and this. And when we get this amount, you'll get this and this. Yeah. And until we get the final amount, you'll get your Instagram account. And I hate that we had to do that, because it is their business and these things do belong to them. But it is our money that we are owed, and it was a literal hostile takeover.
It's horrible that companies put marketing
last.
Literally the last priority. don't worry about them until we get all of these things done. But no, like marketing really does run your business.
I mean, if we had all of those things because we're handling them all for you, and they like need them right now because they can't go another day without them, then don't you think you should prioritize paying your marketing team if you can't go another day without it? Like,
you would think.
So that was really not fun, and I really don't think I ever thought we were going to see that money, but we got paid in full.
We got paid in full 2 months later, but we got paid in full.
Yep. That was scary.
It was.
Never letting that happen again.
As a priority for us as marketing agency, we paid everyone that had to be paid on our team, on our production team, external teams, anyone that worked on this client, they were paid.
Before we even saw a dollar from the client.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Not when we got money, like, from them in installments. It was, like, before we even knew that we were getting a single dollar from them. Like, everyone got paid.
Because it doesn't matter what happens with the client. Like, our team is always taken care of.
Yeah, it was not a good couple of weeks. That was definitely scary.
When we saw that money hit,
we drank.
We celebrated.
I want you guys to picture, though, Maria and I against 4 middle-aged men. 4. It wasn't like one person.
No.
It wasn't like, a nice group of people. They were nice, like, at the end of the day. They didn't like us for a little bit, but this was the dynamic.
We didn't like them for a little bit.
Yeah, that was the dynamic. To prevent anything like that from ever happening again, we definitely have a better system on making sure that no invoice goes unpaid. We have notifications on, reminders set, all that. And also we just kind of do more check-ins with our clients so that we can understand if something may go to hell.
Yeah, you can foresee this coming up.
Yeah. We'll never be blindsided again. So this next one was maybe one of the most recent situations. Yeah. I don't even know.
It was really scary.
I don't even know how to get into this. No, go ahead. The latest situation is one of our longest clients that we've been working with. They do some of the most high-end events in Miami. The most recent event that we had our content production team on was an extremely confidential project. We have never had any issues with anyone on our production team, and we fully trust our team when they go on site without us, more specifically, because they've been doing that for a while now. Mm-hmm. We communicated to our team member that this project was confidential. Anything that they saw or heard inside of the event site was private information and cannot be shared with anyone. Everyone on the site that day had to sign NDAs, except for our team. On one hand, thank God, because they would be in a lot of trouble and we would be in a lot of trouble for what happened. Right. But on the other side of that, it was that there was so much trust there that they didn't feel like there needed to be an NDA for our team members. And that's where this really stings. So we got a text from our client a few days after the event took place. And it was like, hey guys, I think we need to have a call. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that from a client.
We were in a meeting and Izzy immediately goes, wait, why is he texting us this? I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
literally put a pause on everything that was going on. And like before we could even respond to him and be like, can we give you a call in 5 minutes? He sent a link to a viral tweet. God. And it had 20,000 likes. And it was a video of one of our team members who leaked private information from a site that they were on. Oh my God, when I tell you our stomachs just dropped and like we didn't even have the words. It was like, we can't even put into question like maybe he did, maybe he didn't do that. It was just his face. And like, I'm going to paint the scene for you. Because now that it's over and it happened, it's okay that we talk about this. Mm-hmm. There was a huge event. There was a bunch of very famous celebrities attending. And at the setup, when our content team was there to get the before and after shots, one of our videographers took a video of himself and turned the camera around to show the celebrities rehearsing for the event later that night. And he leaked it to the press. How it got out there, don't care, doesn't matter.
Right.
It did get out there. And the fan page for these celebrities reposted it before the event even took place. So now it's like not even speculation that these people are performing at this top secret location for this top secret event.
Right.
It's like out there. And our client was like, if our client that this event was for sees this is a loss on our end of our business, and that's because of your team. What do you say to that? What do you even do? We had no choice.
I mean, we have been working with them for so long. The trust was there. So it just like broke our hearts to even have to look at this and acknowledge that something really did go wrong. After talking to them, like, we were like, literally, number one, apologize. Like, we're so sorry that this happened. Like, in so many ways, we apologized. We asked if there was anything that we could do to make the situation better. So
we offered to reach out to their client personally and take full responsibility that this was not our client or their team members. Like, this was us as an agency separate from them.
Our priority was to make sure that they don't lose the client because of us.
Yeah. So before we even got on the phone with the client, we decided between us that the only resolution that we can give is to apologize to their client on our behalf to make sure they didn't lose business, and B, to give them a solution, and that was that this person will never be on a project site for them ever again, because the professionalism is not up to our standard, and the trust is lost. If they see this guy again, it's like, completely. I mean, how could they trust that? So we fired our team member, unfortunately, because we really love his work, and it really sucks.
Love his work. We have been working with him for so long, and he's done an amazing job on every single other client. Things happen, things go wrong. Like, at the end of the day, the only thing we could do was just move on and kind of like move him out of the client's portfolio.
And lastly, we took the amount off of their invoice for the month. We were like, we're not charging you for this event. The stress and the headache of even dealing with something like this is nothing we ever want to put on you guys. So
if we were freaking out, I can't imagine what was going on in their office.
I think when they heard us freaking out, they were like, all right. They were like, okay, thank you for all of the solutions. Yeah. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the apology. They were like, we're good. Make sure that guy never comes to our site again, and like make sure this doesn't happen with your team again, and we're fine. But that was fucking scary.
It was. And there was nothing we could do to make that not happen or prevent that.
It's out of our control.
Even checking in with him, which we always do, before, after, how was it? Like, did you get everything you needed? Anything else? Like, even if you check in with him, it's out of your hands.
At the end of the day, somebody's holding up your reputation and your name out there when you own a company and you start scaling. It is difficult to maintain a perfect reputation or have a perfect track record with every client. It's inevitable that something like that.
But that's why it's so important, like, how you deal with a client and what you do to make the situation better. And I think we did a great job. It was scary, but thankfully.
In our clients' eyes, I think us having a phone call with them 10 minutes after they send a text like that, and us having 3 solutions on how we're going to never let this happen again and fix it for them, as much as we can in our control, was the most valuable to them. And they were like, we know you value this relationship. So the scaries won't end there, unfortunately. It's really inevitable that shit like this is going to happen just in any business, in any industry. So we hope that you learn from our mistakes and take any preventative measures that you can in any of these circumstances. But like we said, it's inevitable in this specific creative space. So
things happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope that this was a learning experience, but also some sort of entertainment, laugh on our graves.
Just knowing what we have to deal with. So excited, guys. Bye.
Bye.